Sit erect. Sit erect. All right. Say good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Maja nathi aauti. A very, very, very good morning you tell me. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
How's your Josh?
Hi, sir.
Thank God you didn't go to military. So again I'll ask you, how's your Josh?
Hi, sir.
All right, people. Where is your beautiful smile? Those who all have brushed your teeth, can you show me your beautiful teeth? All right, so sabhi logo say, I would like to request you all that, we have started with accounting concepts, conventions and principles. We have already studied what is concepts. Concepts have got universal application. That is to say they are applicable all over the world. Right? Then there is something called as accounting conventions. Conventions are developed with repeated trade practices. And my dear friend, then there is accounting principles, which I told you that I'll deal it later on. Then I explained you few of the concept. One was business entity concept. According to it, business and businessmen both are separate. Then I explained you something called as money measurement. According to this concept, only the transaction which can be measured in money can only be recorded. Then I also explained you a concept called as going concern. According to this concept, the business is going to continue for the foreseeable future. After that, we had a next concept called as accounting periodicity concept. According to this concept, the business indefinite life is divided into finite period. So that was periodicity concept, and that is the application is that, we calculate the profit or loss, we pay taxes annually, quarterly, monthly, yes or no, 6 monthly, etc. and etc. Then we had something else. What was that? What? So we had accrual concept. What do we do in accrual concept? We recognize the income as and when it is earned and expenses as and when it is incurred, ignoring when is the cash received or when is the cash paid. So it has got nothing to do with cash received or cash paid. Then we had one more concept. It was called as dual entity concept is okay. So according to dual aspect, every debit has got a credit effect. So debit is always equal to credit, and I said you, it is derived from the algebraic equation LHS is equal to RHS. In fact, the first equation was for the accounts, which was developed by Liqua Pasolini, was an equation, and it said that total asset is equal to total capital plus liability. Is that okay? So then I explained you asset increases, liability or capital increases, asset decreases, liability or capital decreases, so on and so forth. We understood that part, okay? Then we went on and we understood the concept called as materiality. Matching also. According to the matching concept, the income for the period, expense for the period should be matched with the income for the period. And the example was closing stock. The example was a depreciation, etc., etc. Of course, depreciation is also dealt in accrual concept according to the institute's material. So they interlink each other. And after that, what was the next concept which we said? Materiality. So whatever is non-important, not very important, what do? We can club it as together and we can show it as a miscellaneous expenditure. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Agreed. So materiality is all the relative information, relatively important information should be disclosed. Say yes. And after that, I told you one more thing. It depends upon the size of the amount, size of the transaction. It also reflects the nature of the transaction. So I told you that if a director is committing a fraud, then that should be disclosed. Say yes. All right. Can I take you one step further? What? What was that? Full disclosure principle. According to that, all the relevant material transactions should be disclosed. So if there is a case going on against you and you are supposed to pay some money out of it, if you lose a case, then you should write down this also, disclosing that there is a case which is lodged against us. Say yes or no.
Yes.
I hope you got my point. So example of this is, so recently when OYO, you were saying something. Contingent liability. So a recent example of it is OYO wanted to file the red prospectus. You understand what is red prospectus? They wanted to list their company in the stock market. Red herring prospectus. Okay. So they wanted to list their company in the stock market. But then they were not allowed to do that for the simple reason the many people who had lodged claims or cases against him that he is not paying our revenue and all, they put up this requirement in SEBI, and the SEBI said you need to disclose it, and when it was disclosed, so they understood that it will create a negative and a wrong impact on the financials or valuations of OYO. I hope you are getting my point. So this is very important. I think we have done so far. Now we are today going to wind up this topic. Shall I explain you further? So write down the heading, historical cost concept. Then there is conservatism. historical cost concept, then there is a conservatism. Are we ready? Yes. All right. ये स्क्रॉल करना जरा चैट्स. संध्या, जहां कहीं पर भी होगा वहां से भागते जा. जिए तो जिए कैसे बिन आपके. मैंने उसका आंसर निकाला इसलिए बताया तुमको ये गाना. सो तो जिए कैसे बिना आपके सांस लेकर. घमंड नहीं कह रहा, इतना परफेक्ट आंसर दिया. भाई क्या कर रहा है तू? ओ भाई, अरे भाई नीचे का बटन दबा दे वो. इधर से, हाँ ये वाला ये वाला. अरे नीचे नीचे वो जो 1 लिखा है ना वहां पर, हाँ दबा इसको. हमार क्लिक मार, हमार नीचे अब स्क्रॉल कर. चलो सुनिए, अभी अपन आज जब कॉन्सेप्ट देख रहे हैं जिसका नाम है मटेरियलिटी, के बाद में हम देखेंगे जिसका नाम है का. इसको बोलते हैं हिस्टोरिकल कॉस्ट. So I'll tell you what happened. So I don't know, do you remember something about World Trade Center? You cannot remember anything because you are not even born. 2004 हो ना तुम? 2000, you are from 2004 2005. So you are not even born. So do you know who is Osama bin Laden? Ah, who is he? He was a terrorist. And what did he do? He bombed the World Trade Center. Right? There were two twin towers where in US, and US was attacked by him, or rather his organization, and when it was attacked it all went down. So I'll tell you what happened with that. So this World Trade Centers were what? Demolished. So now the US people, they are very scared people. I mean, they were very, not scared people, I must say. They look a lot of for security, safety, etc., which is correct also. See the bet. No place. Good. So they are scared, okay. So what happened was, before the 2000 attack, the prices of the real estate were going up. The prices of the real estate were going up. But then what happened was, all of a sudden, there was this attack, and US closed its economy and all, and they became very strict, and thereafter the prices falling down, because it was a very huge terrorist attack. It was not on one places, it was on 5 places, and US considered being the most safe place, right? Military wise they were very advanced. Still this kind of an attack, and so many people lost their lives. So boys and girls, what happened was the prices kept on soaring up, and thereafter it started coming down. Can you not see Corona period? Corona period, the property rate were down, and then again it started to go up, because the prices of the steel went up, the prices of the other labor and all, everything went up. So the prices started rising steep. Do you understand what I am saying? So boys and girls, now there is a problem. Suppose I bought a building for rupees 1 crore. I bought a building for 1 crore. Okay. Now you tell me what is the value of that building. Yes girl, what is the value of that building? Pheko. I bought it for 1 crore. Now what it should be? I bought it in 2020. So you say 4 crore, पागल भी ढुस के ही क्या 3 साल में इतना बढ़ता है क्या? मैं इधर पढ़ाने आता है क्या? कुछ भी बोलती है. So maybe 1.2 crore. Yeah, you tell me. 1.5 crore. Okay, then you 1.75 crore. Wow. हाँ साहब, तुम 1.3. किसी को भी है ना, they don't want to be same. हाँ, everyone wants to give second bigger. तुम बता दो 1.32. Good. 1.3332. Okay, good. So I hope you people are understanding that the prices will keep on fluctuating. Now boys and girls, there is a huge amount of scope of fraud. Why? Because if somebody would like to show that they have got a huge asset base, what he might do is, he might value his assets more. Yes or no? But the prices are fluctuating continuously. ये कौन सा तरीका था सर? ठीक है. The prices are fluctuating constantly. Yes or no? So when the prices are fluctuating constantly, boys and girls, please understand, no, that if I show these prices in my balance sheet, if Reliance starts showing these prices in their balance sheet, then that can create a chaos, because they any which ways are not going to sell those fixed assets. I am not going to sell this AC. I never bought it for selling. I never bought these benches for selling. I never bought this mobile for selling. I never bought this tablet for selling, this amplifier, this television, this camera. Did I buy it for selling? No. So there is no reason, there is no rationale of valuing it at market price. Why are we valuing it at market price? It can creep in lot of frauds there. There can be huge amount of frauds because people will value at any value. Yes or no? And that's the reason, my dear friend, it is very big invention of historical cost. What is the historical cost? The price at which you originally bought. So many of the people argued and they said that, was your accounts is hopeless. Your accounts does not have any value. Why? Because it doesn't show the correct today's value. What was the demerit of accounts? What are the people saying about the demerits of the accounts? That accounts does not show the correct today's value, market valuation. But boss, I do want a market valuation because I am not selling it any which ways. Are you understanding? Am I selling it? No. So when I am not selling it, why the hell on this earth? I have to show it at a market price. And plus, there is an expense for that. Sir, what is an expense? I have to go to a valuer, get it valued. I cannot trust you people. If I ask to get the price of this television, everyone, look at that television. Oh, good. Did you see that television? Now write a price in your book. What do you feel? राइट मतलब समझ में आ रहा है कि इधर नहीं, थोबड़े में पेन है क्या? Sony make television and it is around 40 inches. लिख लिया प्राइस? Alright. Now तुम्हाला आई बाबा आणि साई बाबाची शपथ आहे. You have to swear and you have to please tell me the price which you have written. Okay? Yes girl. Yes girl. Yes girl. Yes boy. Very good. तूने वही लिखा है क्या? शिमड़े, हाँ. 70,000 वही लिखा है? Yes brother. 30,000. Yes. 35,000. Very good girl. Good. 1 lakh. पुढे ताई, हाँ? Yes. 80. तूने वही लिखा है? इसकी बुक पर भरोसा नहीं मुझे, दिखा. हाँ लिखा होगा. हाँ. Sorry. 40,000. That's the reason we cannot trust you people. Why I have a trust issue? This is the reason. Because can you imagine how many prices they said for the same television? So the valuation will go for a toss. If she is owning a television, she will say 30,000. She will say 40,000, 50. वो 72. मेरी television मैं buy करके लाई, मैंने sign किया उस पर. You getting my point? So please understand, boys and girls, it was a very big invention of historical cost. The assets which you are not going to sell, like fixed asset, the fixed asset which we are going to use for conducting the business, like benches, like ACs, like fans, like projectors, like, you go like this building. Why do we have to value it at market price? We are not going to any which way is going to sell it. So we value it at price at which it was originally acquired. Say yes. So have you all understood what is the historical cost? Yes. So boys and girls and boys, can you please read it? Page number 1.14. There is something called as point number 17.7, historical cost. Please be quick, be fast. माइक दे रहे. साड़ी के फॉल सा तुझे मैच किया रे. So give it to somebody who can read it for me. White shirt वाले को दो. उस वाइट को दो. टी शर्ट को नहीं चल रहा क्या? हाँ, वेरी गुड, कीप इट अप, वेरी गुड. हमारे पास माइक है पर चलता नहीं है. हमारे घर में ऐसी गाड़ी भी है, हम उसको लेकर चलाते हैं ऐसे. मेरे पास है मोबाइल उसका. हाँ तुम पढ़ लो भाई, तुम पढ़ लो. यू रीड इट प्लीज. If you're ready, shall I explain you now the next concept? Let's read it. All transaction assets of the business entity are recorded at the original cost price. Underline the word original cost price. Accountant traditional prefer this concept in the interest of objectivity. Objectivity means there is no subjectivity involved. Very subjectivity involved. What is the value of this television is subjective. You cannot prove it. Objective is something which you can prove it. You can prove it with the what? Invoice. But it is a subjective. Somebody might feel that it is valuing worth rupees 72,000. Somebody might feel it valuing 30,000. Somebody like online live are saying it is valuing 45,000. Are you getting my point? So that is subjective. But historical cost concept gives objectivity. Going ahead. Fixed assets are recorded at the cost price at the time of their acquisition. Did we know that? Yes. And thereafter systematically reduced by the process called as depreciation. Depreciation, we'll see it later on. Abhi historical cost. However, as per the concept of prudence, in case of current asset, a valuation is done at cost or NRV, whichever is less. Now, this I have not explained you prudence concept, which I am going to explain you the next. What is prudence now? So, today historical cost, what we have understood is only for fixed asset. And why we are using it for fixed asset? Because we are not going to sell it. And when we are not going to sell it, there is no reason why we should have a selling price. Say yes. Going on. Following are the limitations of the cost price. So, boys and girls, historical cost concept does not allow the comparability. This is the major demerit. Now, why it doesn't allow the comparability? So, for example, I bought this classroom. I bought this classroom in 2022. So, I bought it for 1.5 CR. And somebody in 2009 bought it for rupees 25 lakhs. 2009. They bought it for how much? 25 lakhs. Same classroom. It's just the adjacent classroom. इसके बाजू वाला जो classroom है वो कितने में गया हुआ है? 25 lakh. And I bought it in what? 1.5 CR. Now boys and girls, if you look at the financial statement, you will say, oh, Anand is rich and that guy is poor. No, that guy is not poor. He is owning 5 classes now. I am owning 1. But you believe that my classroom is 1.5 CR, but that is only one classroom. He is having 1.25 CR. Right, 25 lakh into what? 5. So he is having how many classrooms? 5 classrooms. And he paid 1.25 CR. You will say, he is poor and I am rich. Boss, no, that is the historical cost. In 2009 when he acquired it. And today when I am saying, it is valued what? I will have to multiply 5 into 1.5 and it will become 7.5 CR. Yes or no? 7.5 nahi, 4.5 CR. जो भी होगा, ठीक है. Have you all understood? 4.5 होगा कितना होगा? 7.5. So my first answer was right. Is that okay? I hope you people have understood. So the demerit of historical cost concept is comparability goes off. You cannot compare the financial statement. What is the else demerit? Many assets do not have acquisition cost. Now that is the problem with full whole accounts. It is not the problem with historical cost. There are various assets for which you cannot have acquisition cost. Do you want to know which assets are those? So WhatsApp acquired Sorry, Facebook acquired WhatsApp. Do you know for how much rupees? Go and check, Google. Facebook acquired WhatsApp, okay? So at what price? How much? 16 billion. Good. So acquired for $16 billion. But मेरे को गलत लग रहा है ये. 16 ना? Billion. So $16 billion is what you have acquired it for. Agreed? Now boys and girls, I am asking you, ask yourself, what did WhatsApp have with them? What did WhatsApp have? They had data. But how do you give a value to the data? See, what happened was WhatsApp was launched. And after WhatsApp was launched, there were many users who liked it. So they subscribed for the app. So now there was no cost of acquisition for it. People started, downloading it and their numbers started coming up with them. And then they started using it. Because it was a great substitute for messaging, the regular messaging. I was the person who witnessed it. So we used to message it and we used to charge, 40 paisa for sending a message. 50 paisa for sending a message. That was our days. Then when WhatsApp was introduced, messaging went off. Because now what you could do is, you can directly send message through the internet. And that's where the things, became very popular for WhatsApp. So boys and girls, all I'm asking you is, WhatsApp had data. But what is the cost of data? You don't know. So you'll say, no, data did not cost anything. Arey bloody, but you are selling that data, right, to Facebook. And when you are selling it, you are getting 16 billion. You are not getting 16 billion for that software. Are you getting my point? You are getting the data for so many users which you had. Let me give you another example. Why did you come to Swapnil Patni classes? I know, मला माहिती आहे दादा. गोट्या खेळायला तर शिकवत नाही इकडे. पण मी तुला म्हणतोय, SPC, when you compare SPC, you could have gone somewhere else also. So how do you know quality? And what else? You are saying goodwill. Somebody must have recommended you. You didn't know me. You didn't have any personal attachment with me, right? Zero personal attachment. You didn't know me. You didn't know any one of us. But still you wanted to come in here because you knew name from somewhere. Right? So now why did you hear this name? Because of the goodwill. Now we did not recognize goodwill in the books because we cannot measure it. So boys and girls, historical cost of many of the assets cannot be decided and hence we cannot take it up. I'll give you a last example of this. Steve Jobs is a human asset. If Steve Jobs would not have been there, do you think so Apple would have been there? See, there was a phase in Apple when Steve Jobs left it. There was a phase in Apple when Steve Jobs left it. And once he left it, what happened? The prices and the company went into the losses. And then again Steve Jobs came up. Arey boss, so Steve Jobs is an asset na? Yes. But still you cannot recognize Steve Jobs as an asset because you cannot measure Steve Jobs. No sir, I can measure him. He's 5'7". No, you cannot measure it in terms of money. Do you all agree? Yes. I hope you people have understood this so far. So apne accounts, in our accounts, there are demerits also. But it's okay. These demerits are purposely there because in case we put up a historical cost, we remove historical cost and we start taking fair value, then people might value anything for any value. Say yes. Yes. Now boys and girls, you are all requested to understand a concept called as conservatism prudence. Conservatism prudence. How many of you have seen your parents? How many of you have seen your parents saving the money? You have seen your parents saving money? How? अकाउंट में डाल के बहुत गंदे तरीके से देखा तूने. और किसी ने और अच्छा? FD. अरे यार तुम गधेड़े, तुम मेरी बात सुनो. So I was small and I've seen my mom saving the money. How? So I was small and I went walking to Balives. Anyone from Solapur here? Yeah. So you know Balives. So I came walking from where? Prabhakar Maharaj Road to Balives. I walked. So mom promised me that while going we'll walk and while coming we'll come in rickshaw. Okay? And I was tired. I walked along with her. I don't know why she making me walk. There were rickshaws, but no. Then while coming back also, I'm sure even you must have gone through this kind of phases wherein they did not hire rickshaw. नहीं इधर ही तो है, चलते चलते अरे माँ तेरे पैर बड़े हैं मेरे पैर छोटे हैं, तू एक कदम लेती है मेरे को दो लेना पड़ता है, मेरे पैर दुखता है, छोटा पैर है मेरा, हाँ इल्ले. So she saved money. Why did she save money? I asked her, Mama, why are you saving money? So she says, look, if something goes wrong, then this money is going to be useful for us. I said, oh. So that she instilled that fear in me also. Now I am also saving, and I don't know when I am going to use it. are you getting my point? But this is a matter of fact. So this is called as prudence, conservatism. Conservatism says that don't recognize probable losses, but don't recognize probable gains, but recognize probable losses. So if there is gonna be a loss, recognize it first. Like my mom, there was no loss. She said, no, save. There can be problem in future. And that's, I said, Mom, you can earn in future also, na? Think positive. She said, Zap! Don't think positive. Think negative. And that's what I'm going to teach you in the accounts also. Think negative. If there are probable losses, recognize them. And if there are probable gains, ignore them. जैसे वो ignore करते हैं आपको, करती है. Boys, हाँ. खुल्ला, ignore. Agreed? So बेटा जी मुझे जल्दी से बताओ, how do you recognize the prudence concept? Prudence concept is recognize the probable losses, but don't recognize probable gains. Now keyword is recognize. What is recognize? Recognize means make an entry of the losses. Don't recognize means don't make an entry of the gains. So boys and girls, for example, I am saying you, I have got stock, or I have got current asset, or I have got current asset is something which you are going to sell it in 12 months. Say yes. Now current assets are like stock, right? Investments. So which we are acquiring it for the purpose of selling it within 12 months. So boys and girls, I said you stock, I said you debtors, right? Let's forget about the debtors right this moment. I think I should explain it simply. So I acquired my stock, the cost of it was 40,000, but the market price is 45,000. I am going to value this stock at 40,000. Cost or NRV, this is called as net realizable value, NRV. Cost or NRV, whichever is lower. Suppose if the cost is 40,000 and the market price is 32,000, I am going to value it at what? 32,000. Do you remember in historical cost there was one concept which was said that in case of current asset, because they are meant to be sold, fixed asset are not meant to be sold. Current assets are there to be sold. उनको बेचना है, इसलिए market price is relevant, but for fixed asset market price is not relevant. Say yes. So boys and girls, I am saying cost or NRV whichever is lower, and 40,000 and 32,000, cost or NRV whichever is lower, may you are going to take 32,000. So don't you think so you are recognizing probable loss of 8,000? Because suppose you bought it at what? Can you, commerce background student, can you visualize this? Trading account, I bought it for 40,000. Agreed? My purchase price won't change. But when I am valuing it at 32,000, I am recognizing the loss of how much? 8,000. So recognize probable losses. But when I say I am valuing it at 45,000, suppose, I would have recognized probable gain. I am not allowed to do that. So you tell me, prudence means what? Recognize the probable losses, but don't recognize probable gains. And this concept is implemented while the valuing the inventory or while valuing the closing stock. Current asset. Current assets are what current assets? Which are going to be sold within period of 12 months. Do you all agree? Science background. Have you understood beta? Yes. Have you understood? Who else? मटर पनीर. तुम में से कौन एक एब्सेंट था? नहीं, तीन में से उस दिन भी कोई एक एब्सेंट था ना? शेमड़े को आने दे अभी. हाँ क्या? तो बड़ी तरफदारी कर रहा है. आज जाके दिखा देना ये वाला. थोड़ा सा धक धक भी करना ऐसा. मजे कर रहा हूँ रे. एक तो पहले क्या है, मैं अभी बोल नहीं पाऊंगा, तुमको क्लास के बाद में बोलूंगा मैं किस प्रॉब्लम से जा रहा हूँ. शादी करनी मुझसे साले. कम डाउन टू 17.9. Point number 17.9. The working rule is anticipate no profits but provide for all possible losses. Okay, the principle is applied to report lower profit where alternative exists. However, conservatism cannot justify deliberate understatement of profit. Mane, you cannot apply conservatism to willfully show loss. Conservatism has to be applied only in the places where the accounting standard is going to tell you, or where there is actually going to be a loss. You just cannot be like my mom, that there can be a loss. No, ma. You have to prove it with the figures that the market price is lower and the cost is higher. So we are going to take it at market price. But you cannot, if mama says, no, beta, cost is 10,000 and market price is 45,000, then value it at 40,000. But mama is saying, but tomorrow if the market price goes down, then no, mama, we have to have a proof, a evidence with us that I cannot do it willfully. I mean, I cannot show losses willfully. Is that okay? So the purpose of prudence is not to show the losses willfully. The purpose is to what? To recognize the probable losses. And what is the probable? Which can be proven. You can prove it with the help of what I can say, evidence, document. That type of losses you can recognize. Is that okay? Aage po. The golden rule of current asset valuation, cost or market price, whichever is lower, is based on this concept, prudence. And why current asset, beta? Why it is not applied on fixed asset? Fixed asset you apply historical cost. Right? And for current asset you apply what? Cost or NRV, whichever is lower. Why? Fixed asset are not meant to be sell. Yes or no? But current asset are meant for sale. And that's the reason you take cost or NRV, whichever is lower. See, this is how our accounts is so logical. Everything was planned properly and then they put it up. Is that okay? Let's go on further. For this concept, there should be at least 3 qualitative characteristics of the financial statements. So one is prudence, neutrality and faithful representation. Now boys and girls, we are not going to discuss that particular part. We will discuss it over a period of time because it might create little confusion. So for you at this moment, I will tell you conservatism and prudence is one and the same. Conservatism and prudence is one and the same. Today I will request you, go and check the meaning of conservatism and prudence both in dictionary when you go back at home. Not required at this moment. Can we go ahead? Now consistency. Very good. So I'll tell you something very important. If I were to bless my daughter with one thing, right, as a father, it would be consistency. See, you can be a very good person or you can be a very bad person. And you can be no one. Hitler was also something. He was also someone. But there are so many people who are born and who die without being, knowing anything. So all I am just trying to tell you is, all I am just trying to tell you is, Hitler had consistency in his approach. Ram had consistency in his approach. Everyone today whom you pray had consistency in them. They are not like whimsical. Today one mood, tomorrow the second mood. No. They are consistent. Mahavira, Gautam Buddha, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, when they fought for a cause, they had consistency in that. When they started studying, they had a consistency in that. Erratic behavior was not there. So boys and girls, I'll just request you this particular part. See, whenever I teach consistency, I tell my kids this also. See, if you study for 10 minutes, it's okay, but do it consistently. If you read books for 10 minutes, it's okay, but do it consistently. Because anything which is done consistently is going to yield a fruit. So you go and plant one tree today and you take 10 minutes care for it every day. Okay? So 10 minutes every day, can I not say 10 minutes you have one tree and you are taking care of it every day. Okay? And I am saying that one fine day you think that no, I am going to plant 1,000 trees. You plant it over a period of 3 days. 1,000 trees. So 1,000 multiplied by 10. Take example. So it is how many minutes? 10,000 minutes. I don't think so in 3 days there can be 10,000 minutes. But I will tell you, suppose you planted it in 20 days. Agreed? Now boys and girls, this is useless if you don't take care of it. And it would be a lot of useful to you in case you take care of it continuously. If you are able to take care of a tree for 1,000 days, that is to say, for 3+ more years, you will have fruit and it will become strong and it is going to give you fruit throughout your life. That's the beauty of consistency. Majority of the people are not failing in their life not because they are slow. Slow is okay. Even if cycle is slow, even if you walk slow, there were people in the past who have walked the whole nation on their feet. So if you see KCR, not KCR, I'm so sorry, this Reddy guy, the chief minister of, I think, not Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, right? Jagan Mohan Reddy, right? He walked the complete state. He did a Padyatra for the complete state. So still he could do it, even by walking. He's walking for almost 100 days plus. Are you aware of this? Similarly, there are sadhus who walk. There are people who walk, yes or no? There are people who cycle it. There are people who go by bike. There are people who go by car. Then there are people who go by train, plane. It's okay. What is your speed? You are going to reach there. But you need to be consistent. Inconsistency is bad. So I have been successful. One of the primary reason why I was successful, so I'll tell you, is that when I started teaching, when there were 4 kids, I was consistent. When there are 500 plus kids, I'm still consistent. You should be consistent in your life. It's okay to be slow. But हमको बचपन में कैसे कहा जाता? Fast, fast, दूध पियो. Why you have to drink fast, fast? Drink at your speed. Do all the things at your speed. There is no hurry. It's just that you need to be consistent in whatever you're doing. And I'll pray to the God that you become consistent in whatever you do. Because inconsistency is not going to lead you anywhere in your life. If possible, start writing your journal. When I was of your age, I used to write the journal. And when I used to write the journal, then I used to get a chance to read my thoughts. Are they consistent or not? And when they're not consistent, I'm not going to get what I want. You will get only when you are consistent in your thoughts. So write your journal. But I had to tear it off because I wrote about many other things also. Which my wife would not have liked it, okay? So any which ways. So I'm just giving you a hint. Don't write other stuff. If you want to write it other stuff, write it personally for yourself. Shall we go ahead now? Now we are talking about the next part of the story. Okay, Suraj? Let's go on. So what is consistency? When you're following an accounting policy, right? So there are alternative accounting policies. Alternative means you can follow A policy, B policy, C policy. Once you follow one accounting policy, you have to follow it consistently. Those from commerce background will understand. What are the methods of depreciation? Straight line method, SLM. Then इसको एक बजा एक जरा पीछे से बजा, लाल को बजा, बजा बोला ना मैं तेरे को, बजा बोला ना, मैं तेरे को बजाएगा, संतोष उसको बजा रहे, ब्लैक वाले को, बजा उसको एक, हाँ, नलक सीधा बैठ, घावटिया, सीधा बैठ, हाँ, गुड, शेमडा, माहिती आहे शेमडा कसा असतो असा. So now listen to me, what I was trying to tell you, where was straight line method, or you can have reducing balance method, that is WDV method. अबे हो नहीं. So my dear friend, there is an accounting policy. SLM is an accounting policy and WDV method or reducing balance method is an accounting policy. Once you follow one method, you have to follow consistently year after year. There are policies on various fronts on revenue recognition. There are accounting policies on valuation of stock, FIFO, LIFO, WAC. You haven't studied them as of yet. FIFO, LIFO and WAC, weighted average cost method. So once you follow an accounting policy, you have to follow consistently year after year. Do you all agree? So boys and girls, what is consistency? You have to follow accounting policy consistently year after year. Now what does that help into? That helps into comparison. Comparison what? Last year's performance and current year's performance. Suppose last year you were doing CA and current year you are doing painting. How do I compare? I cannot compare. Agreed? But last year you were doing CA, current year you are doing CA, we can compare the performance. Say yes or no? Last year you are doing engineering, this year you are doing doctorate. I cannot compare it. So consistency helps you what? In comparing your performance. So when I am a teacher, last year also I was teaching, current year also I am teaching, there is a consistency. So I can compare my performance. But last year I was teaching, current year I am doing farming. Cannot compare. Is that okay? So consistency allows you to do what? Comparison. Comparison between your past and today's performance and comparison between your entity and other entity. Say yes. I hope you people have understood. So can you please read about this part, consistent is. In order to what? Achieve comparability of the financial statement of an enterprises through time, the accounting policies are followed consistently from one period to another. But it does not imply non-flexibility. An enterprise should change its accounting policy if any one of the circumstances. So what did I say you? You should follow your accounting policy consistently. But if there is a problem, then you can change it. So they say that it does not imply inflexibility. Means एक बार अगर तुमने decide कर लिया that you are going to do engineering or a CA, then you cannot change. No, you can change. So it is not that inflexibility is there. They say that there should be consistency, but you can still change the accounting policy in 3 scenarios. How many scenarios? 3. Scenario number 1, change in law. कानून बदल गया. Earlier you used to follow excise, now you are following GST. You cannot say I am going to follow excise. Oh please, कानून change हो गया, law change हो गया. Yes or no? Agreed. So first one is what? Change in law. Second one, change in accounting standard. Earlier there was no accounting standard, or accounting standard was giving some other treatment. Now accounting standard is saying that this is the correct treatment. Agreed. So if accounting standard is there, now what is accounting standard? Accounting standards are the policy documents given by the expert body. I'll talk about it later on. But if accounting standard says change it, you'll have to change it. And the third one is better presentation of the financial statements. So you must have seen Facebook often revises their policies. For what? For better services. Google does that. So similarly, my dear friend, even we in accounts, to provide more clarity for better presentation for the investor, we might change the policy, yes or no. So can you read when the accounting policy can be changed? In 3 scenarios. First one is what? Change in law, change in AS, and better presentation of the financial statements. Agreed, beta? So read the first line. In order to achieve comparability, this we have already read it, but it does not imply non-flexibility. An enterprise should change its accounting policy in any one of the following circumstances to bring the books of accounts in accordance with issued accounting standard. So what did I say? Change in accounting standard. Then second I said to compliance with the provision of law, change in law. I said if the law changes. And the third one is what, my dear friend? Better presentation of financial statement. Say yes. I hope you people have understood with the consistency also. Materiality we have already done it. Now disclosure we have done it. Now realization concept. Very interesting concept. I bought shares. I love shares. So I bought ITC at the rate of rupees 200. Indian Tobacco Company. I bought it for 200. Today it is 260. In the matter of 3 months. In the matter of 3 months. So I earned a profit of how much? 30%. So my wife was very happy. She saw the profits. She is also CA, na? So she saw the profits. She said, honey, let's go to, some place. Ghum ke aate, chalo na. I said, ruko. She said, why ruko? We have got a profit. I said, that is not realized. Did we sell it? No. When we have not sold it, we cannot say that we have earned a profit. Now this is being the most misused concept in the world. This is the most misused concept in the world. Are you aware about that? Elon Musk owns Tesla. So when Elon Musk owned Tesla, his share prices have skyrocketed. But did he pay tax? No. Why he didn't pay tax? Because it is not realized. Why it is not realized? Because he has not sold it. He is never going to sell it, sir. So he doesn't pay tax on that. So Elon Musk pays tax on Tesla's company's profit, but he doesn't pay the tax on the shares. That's the reason the shares are such a popular investment tool. So when I buy shares, I keep holding them. Price keeps increasing, but I don't pay any tax on that because it is not realized. Similarly, when you buy a property, when you don't sell it, right, unless and until you sell it, you cannot say that you have realized a profit. Why? This account says that there should be a concept of realization. You cannot show something as a profit If it has not realized, realized means you have sold it. You have got a contractual right to receive the money. Is that okay? But you know what? Then Elon Musk, when he says that I want to buy Twitter, and he gives an offer to buy it at 42 billion. Then somebody asks, do you have so much of the money? He says, I don't have. So what are you going to do? So he says that I am going to give Tesla stock as a security. To whom? Bank. Are you understanding what I am saying? He is going to give Tesla stock to the bank. He is not selling it. He is still not selling it. वो गिरवी रख रहे. He is mortgaging it and he is saying, I want the loan. He has still not paid the tax and he has bought another company in form of a Twitter. I mean, when he does that, I hope you people have got this point. So realization says that unless and until you have sold it, or rather I must say that there is a contractual. You understand contractual? Means you can go in the court of law and prove it. Boy, give me this money. I have sold it to you, give me this money. I have got the contract with me. So then you can say that there is a concept of realization. Is that okay? So realization means unrealized gain cannot be recognized. Unrealized means if the value of gold is increasing, you cannot recognize. If the value of house or your office is increasing, you cannot recognize it. Right? So do you think so in this particular building there is a steel used? So prices of steel has gone up. So you'll say that I will I will value it up. Not allowed. Because this does not follow the concept of realization. It is unrealized gain. Which gain? Unrealized. So my dear friend, in accounts you have to recognize all the stuff on the basis of the realization. Can you please read that realization concept? It closely follows the cost concept. Any change in the value of an asset is to be recorded only when the business realizes it. Underline the word realizes and write down contractually able to encash it. Contractually able to encash it. You know, you understand what is contractually? You can prove it in the court of law. So if somebody, I sold you the goods and you are not paying me, I can drag you into the court of the law. That is the concept of realization. Is that okay? So I said contractually, what did I say? Huh? Contractually able to encash. Contractually able to encash. So shall we read the next line? When an asset is recorded at its historical cost of rupees 5 lakh and even if the current cost is rupees 15 lakh, such change is not counted unless there is a certainty. Underline the word certainty. So you tell me, when will you print your marriage patrika? So you say when the marriage happens, not then. You will print it before. So when will you print if I have to tell you it in English? क्या? No, marriage is coming. तेरे को येड़े में भी निकाल सकते ना. बाबू चोना, I'll marry you only, and then बाबू चोना को छोड़ के गई वो. Then, so the key word is you should be certain that the marriage is going to happen. Ille? What do you mean by certain? You're going to realize it. That is going to happen. So what is the key word used here? Unless there is a certainty that such change will materialize. So certainty is again talking about the contractual relationship or contractually able to encash. So when I am saying I am certain, then I am saying that boys, I can recognize the realizable value immediately. Is that okay? So unrealized gain cannot be recognized in accounts, okay? So you do not show the false picture to the investor. अभी सोचो तुम्हारे को जो financial statement मिलते हैं share market से, if you get a share markets में financial statements and they start showing you some bogus gains, bogus profit, Bitcoin went up, you will start showing the profit. You getting my point? But you never sold Bitcoin. Are you getting my? You never sold a Bitcoin. How can you say that it is realized? It's not realized. Now Bitcoin went down. Oh, you said I invested in this company because it was showing profits. Now it has gone down. Boss, what he did was he has shown unrealized gain where there was no contractual relationship. Yes or no? Yes. I hope you people have understood. So this was the beauty of our accounts. It spoke about accounting concepts, conventions and principles. When you come on the page number 17, it speaks about the policies. What accounting policies? So now what I'll do is I'll request you to come down to page number 11 and I'll give you some self-study points. Point number 14, 15, 16 you are going to read. I have already explained you those. 14, 15, 16 you are going to read it. Then boys and girls, you are going to come and read the point number 20, measurement discipline. Measurement discipline. Okay, so I'll just give you a brief, then you have to read and come back and then we'll talk about it. So what is the measurement brief? Let me explain you. संतोष इधर आ. इनको फोन कर पूछ क्या बात है. See, now I've got a little less time today left. So what I'll do is I'll just discuss with you this point and then tomorrow you have to come read and then we'll take it ahead. So this is actually a separate topic in your institute's material which we have clubbed into one theoretical topic. Is that okay? So there are around 5 to 6 topics which we have covered into this. So I'll explain you which all topics I have done from your module. So now let me explain you measurement discipline. So do you know how much is 1 liter? आ गए क्या? How much is 1 liter? So that is measurement discipline. That is a measurement yardstick. How much is 1 kilometer? 1000 meters. Okay. How much is 1 feet? How much is 1 feet? 12 inches. Thank God. 12 inches. Good. How much is 1 kg? Achha, does that change in India? Achha, in Uttar Pradesh it is something different and in Bihar something different and Maharashtra something different and Orissa something different. No. Achha, Pakistan? Same. Afghanistan? Same. China? Same. Japan? Same. Love you bro. So then that is same. Wind speed. I don't know how it is measured. Science background? How do you measure wind? हाँ? Wind समझ में आती क्या? छोड़ता है तू? होपलेस. साला इतना प्रेम से पूछा बताता नहीं है. हाँ और कौन है दूसरा साइंस वाला? हाँ हाँ विंड कैसे मेजर करते हैं? कैसे? हाँ कैसे होती है स्पीड? मीटर पर सेकंड भी करते हैं, किलोमीटर पर आर भी करते हैं. ऐसा किलोमीटर पर आर होते हैं? हाउ मेनी किलोमीटर्स? ओके मे बी. Okay, so boys and girls, wind is measured in how many kilometers or meter per second or kilometer per hour. Light is measured in terms of how many kilometers per second light. Similarly, you measure a car speed, वगैरह वगैरह वगैरह. Hey boys and girls, now does the kilometer or an hour changes? Now time is a measuring yardstick. What are you measuring in time? You are measuring speed. In so much of the time, how much is the speed? So this particular yardstick will not change throughout the world. अपना accounts वाला एड़ा निकला. Accounts measures the things in terms of money. इल्ले. Accounts measures the things in what? Money. Now the rule of the measurement yardstick is that it should be constant. It should be stable. A liter in my dadi's time is same today also. My grandma used to measure liter and today's liter is also same. I mean that has not changed. But bloody damn shit. Money has changed from my dadi's time to today's time. My dadi used to tell me that she bought gold for 100 rupees, 10 grams. I said, "Wow, dadi. But today you cannot buy it for 50,000 also." Do you understand? साला अपना झंडू बाम जिसमें मेजर कर रहे हैं ना मनी को, वही चेंज हो रहा है. You understanding? So in our accounts, what is the measurement stick? Money. But money is not stable because in India it is different, in Pakistan it is different, in China it is different, in Japan it is different, in US it is different, in Russia it is different. First, it is different everywhere. Second, it changes its values. Because of inflation, because of the rise in price. So or no? So boys and girls, I hope you have understood that the measurement yardstick should be constant. So this is what you will read tomorrow and come. Second, account says that there are 4 ways in which you can measure the things. One is historical cost. I am not going to explain you what it is. One is realizable value. The third one is present value. And the fourth one is current value. So these are all written where? On the next page. Can you see it? So उस box में कुछ मत लिखना, that I'll explain you. But otherwise you have to read everything and come back when? Tomorrow. कल में यही मिलेगा आपको. और फिर हम इस टॉपिक को, ये मतलब ये एक टॉपिक तो हो गया अभी आपका. Now we are gonna read with what? Accounting policies and accounting as a measurement discipline. Tomorrow we'll wind it up. And then we'll go into the practicality of the accounts. We'll start with the entries and all. Is that okay? So tomorrow would be the last day, I think, of the theory. But I think you should all read these concepts and conventions very properly so that you are thorough with them. Is that okay? So प्यार से bye bye बोलो. Bye bye. God bless you all. Take care. Lots of love. We'll meet you. See you soon. Okay? Babu Chona. Bye.